Ever catch yourself, like, totally mesmerized by those massive machines and construction sites? Today, we're going to dive deep into the world of the people behind the wheel, those road roller operators.
And we're not just talking about, steering those behemoths. We're going to arm you with the insights to totally crush that job interview using RoleCatcher's Career Guide and Interview Guide.
That's right. Acing an interview for a specialized role like this, it takes prep. It's about showing off your technical know-how and your passion for actually building the roads we're driving on every single day.
Exactly. So let's jump right in with a question that honestly trips a lot of people up. It seems so simple. What inspired you to become a road roller operator?
Right. It does sound kind of deceptively simple, like, oh, I like big machines, but there's got to be more to it than that.
You hit the nail on the head. Hiring managers, they've heard it all. You've got to go deeper, connect with them on something, I don't know, more personal. Think. What really sparked your interest? Was it like a family member in construction, or maybe a fascination with turning raw land into something functional?
Right, like the satisfaction of building something that'll be around for years. And speaking of which, the Career Guide really emphasizes this. The demand for skilled road roller operators, it's growing.
Absolutely. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, they project a 4% job growth in this sector by 2029. That's actually higher than average for all occupations, so more competition. That's why nailing this interview is so, so crucial.
Okay, and that brings us to our next interview question. This one's a bit more technical. What's your experience with different types of road rollers? Time to show off that knowledge.
It is. This is where you name drop. Any brands, any models you've worked with, even if your experience is, a little limited, talk about the machines, the features you found effective.
So even if I've only used one type extensively, I can still talk about its capabilities and how those might translate to other models, right?
Exactly. Show them you get the nuances, right? How different rollers are better for certain tasks. Maybe you've researched other models, taken courses, let them know you're eager to learn.
That's a really good point, showing that willingness to learn, to grow, huge in any industry, but especially something as specialized as this.
And speaking of specialized, there's another question that throws people off. How do you ensure the accuracy of road surface compaction?
Okay, yeah, this one sounds pretty technical, so it's more than just like driving back and forth.
Definitely. This is where you show off the science behind the job. Talk about the factors that influence compaction. Soil types, moisture, the roller's vibration frequency, all of that.
So it's about showing that I understand the link between how the machine's operated and actually getting those perfect results.
Precisely. And the career guide, it actually gets into soil mechanics and how it relates to all of this. Brushing up on that beforehand could give you an edge.
That's gold.
Yeah.
Now, let's shift gears for a second to something huge on any site: safety. How would you answer? How do you ensure the safety of yourself and others when you're on that road roller?
This is big, and it's not just knowing where the emergency stop button is. You need to show you're proactive about safety. It's got to be multifaceted.
So, talk about doing those pre-operational checks on the roller itself.
Yes. Mentioning those routine checks shows attention to detail. Talk about checking the tire pressure, the fluids, even making sure the mirrors are clean.
It's about catching those potential hazards before they even become a problem.
Exactly. But safety, it goes beyond just the machine. Think. Communication. Being aware of your surroundings, you're working with a team, often really close to other heavy equipment.
Right.
Precisely. You want to highlight how you're keeping that communication clear with the other crew members. Hand signals, the radio, always being mindful of traffic flow on a busy site. This is where those soft skills come in.
Being a team player, prioritizing everyone's safety.
And employers, they love to see that. Okay, let's try another one. This tests your problem solving. How do you handle unexpected challenges while operating a road roller?
Because things rarely go exactly to plan on a construction site, right?
Exactly. They want to see you think on your feet, come up with solutions under pressure, so have a structured answer ready, a good example too.
Okay, walk me through this. What's the best way to approach it?
Start by outlining how you identify problems. Explain how you size up the situation, think about different solutions, weighing the good and bad of each one, and then, this is key, a real-life example from your own experience.
Ah, so a story that shows off your quick thinking, your problem solving in action.
You got it. And RoleCatcher's Interview Guide, it actually gives tips for structuring these answers using something called the STAR method. Situation, task, action, result. It helps make your story concise, impactful.
Super helpful. I love having a framework like that to make answers more memorable.
And it all ties back to what we were saying before about showing both those technical skills and your personality. Let's do another one. This one's all about interpersonal skills. What is your experience working with a construction team?
That feels like a bit of a curveball. How does that relate to running the road roller?
Because it shows you're not just a lone wolf behind the wheel, right? Construction's a team effort. Employers need to know you can work well with others.
So it's not about being like the nicest person. It's about being effective at communicating, coordinating.
Absolutely. You're highlighting how you understand, you respect the roles of everyone on that site, from the surveyors to other equipment operators. Mention those communication methods too, hand signals, radio protocols, that kind of thing.
Right, because when you're in control of a massive roller, clear communication is key to avoiding accidents, keeping the project on track.
You nailed it. Okay, let's tackle one that seems straightforward but needs some thought. How do you ensure the proper maintenance of the road roller?
See, to me, that one sounds like a no-brainer. You keep it clean, make sure it's got enough oil, right?
Well, you want to show a little more nuance than that. It's about showing you're proactive with maintenance. You understand a well-maintained machine is safer, more efficient in the long run.
Okay, so what kind of details should I be mentioning in my answer then?
Talk about your daily checks, tire pressure, fluid levels, those lubrication points. Talk about any weird noises or vibrations you've noticed. The career guide really emphasizes keeping those detailed maintenance logs, reporting any issues right away.
Makes sense. It shows you're not just waiting for something to totally break down before you do anything about it.
Exactly. It shows that sense of responsibility, attention to detail that employers want. And, we got to talk about the environment too.
Oh, right, right. Construction sites, they can generate a ton of waste. So how do you answer this one? How do you ensure proper disposal of any hazardous materials?
This is key for showing your environmental smarts. Name those specific materials, the ones you'd actually encounter. Fuel, hydraulic fluids, used oil filters, that sort of thing.
Yeah, the career guide actually talks about those.
Exactly. Get familiar with the procedures. Don't be afraid to mention those local regulations, the disposal sites. It all matters. It shows you're not just following the rules, but you're actually thinking about the impact.
Because sustainability, it matters everywhere, even construction sites. Okay, last one, and this can be a make or break.
Yeah.
How do you handle conflicts with other team members, supervisors, anyone?
This is all about conflict resolution. Employers want to see that maturity, being professional, finding solutions, not making things worse.
So less about being right, more about finding a solution that works for the whole team.
You got it. Emphasize open communication, really listening, seeing those different viewpoints. And if you've got a good example, a time you smoothed things over, now's the time to share.
All right, a real story always lands better than something made up. Okay, so we've gone deep on those interview questions, but let's shift gears for a sec. What about after you get the job? The career guide, it talks about career paths for road roller operators. And it's not just about, bigger machines, is it?
Not even close. Think. Expanding your skills, more responsibility, maybe even specializing in one area of road construction.
Okay, so what's some paths someone could take?
Well, the guide, it lays out a pretty clear progression. You start entry level, then you're junior operator, and finally senior operator. Each step, you're not just getting experience, you're getting new knowledge too.
So it's like leveling up in a video game, but instead of points, it's all about the expertise you're building.
I like that. Entry level, you're all about those basic operating techniques, working with more seasoned pros. Move up to junior operator, you get more freedom. Maybe you're trusted with the bigger, more complex rollers, more responsibility for how the compaction's going.
I'm guessing communication, teamwork, that's even more important now, right?
100%. Then you hit senior roller operator, those leadership management skills. They're crucial. You might be running whole projects, mentoring the newer folks, even working directly with project managers to make sure everything's smooth.
So there's room to move into like a leadership role later on.
Definitely. And the cool thing, the guide makes it clear. It doesn't have to be a straight line. You could focus on one specific type of roller, the ones for highways or maybe airports even, or switch it up entirely, become a heavy equipment mechanic, a construction supervisor, tons of options.
That's awesome. So there's growth and you can specialize. But let's loop back to the interview prep. We've talked about the career guide, the interview guide, but what about RoleCatcher's AI? How does that actually help people prep?
That's where RoleCatcher really shines. Their AI, it gives you personalized feedback, guidance, like having a career coach right there in your pocket.
Okay, now I'm really interested. Tell me more.
So one of the coolest things, it's their AI-powered interview simulator. You put in the job description, the AI looks it over, then it actually generates interview questions just for that role.
Wait, so it's not just like a generic list of questions. It's customized for the actual job I want.
Exactly. And get this, you practice answering those questions right there on the platform, type them out, or even say your answers out loud.
So it's like a mock interview, but with an AI that's listening, analyzing how I'm doing.
You got it. It looks for clarity, if you're on topic, even things like your tone, how fast you're talking. It'll point out areas to improve, suggest better ways to phrase things, even get you to elaborate if you need to.
That's wild. It's like having a speech coach and a career advisor all in one.
And that's not all. RoleCatcher's AI, it can help with your resume, your cover letter. It picks out those key words, the skills employers really want, then make sure your application emphasizes those.
Talk about a leg up, especially with how competitive it is out there.
Totally. It's like having a secret weapon helps you stand out, shows off those skills that matter most to the hiring manager.
That's incredible. I love how RoleCatcher's using tech to help people. But you know what else is great? How they connect talented people with the right jobs.
They've got this really impressive network of employers. It's not just like a boring old job board. It's a place where those companies are actively looking for the right people.
So less about sending your resume into the void and hoping for the best, and more about being proactive, putting yourself out there where employers can actually see you.
Exactly. And here's the cool part. With RoleCatcher, you can create a profile, but it's anonymized. It highlights your skills, what you've done, your career goals, all that. But
Anonymized, so like they wouldn't see my name, my contact info right away.
nope. It's about those qualifications first. Then, if an employer is interested, they reach out through RoleCatcher. No more spammy inboxes.
That takes a lot of pressure off. I'm not sending out a zillion resumes anymore, just hoping. Instead, it's my experience doing the talking for me.
That's it. Way more targeted. Plus, RoleCatcher's AI, remember, it actually helps match your profile with employers who are looking for your exact skill set.
Okay, that's seriously cool. So they're like making the job search less about luck and more about actually connecting the right people.
Exactly. It's a win-win. They've built this whole platform, not just for finding a job, but for building your career, from prepping for interviews to networking and everything in between.
Wow. Well, there you have it, listeners. We really dug deep today. We talked about becoming a road roller operator, the skills you need, how to totally rock that interview, and even what your career could look like years down the road.
We talked about passion, being safe on the job site, being a team player. But honestly, the biggest thing is to be prepared. And RoleCatcher, their tools, that AI, it all gives you a real advantage out there.
It's like you walk into that interview confident, knowing your stuff, and you're able to really show them what you've got.
And don't forget, the construction industry needs people like you, people with those skills. The demand for good road roller operators, it's only going up. And with the right prep, the right tools, you can build an awesome career, one you can be proud of.
So to everyone listening who's ready to jump in, to pave their own way, remember, confidence is key. Prep like crazy. And RoleCatcher, they've got your back.
And that's a wrap on the deep dive. We'll catch you next time for another awesome career deep dive.